Nazi Germany was fighting a battle of attrition in 1944, as the Soviet Red Army was moving west and conducting major offensive operations against Nazi forces on the Eastern Front, while the Imperial Japanese Navy was losing in the Pacific Theater.
It won't be long before the Axis powers are defeated.
But the Imperial Japanese Army had a chance to come back if they occupied the valley of Imphal, Manipur, and used it as a launching pad to seize the lightly guarded Allied logistics hub and supply depot in Kolkata, which was extensively used by the
British and American forces for supplies destined for the China-Burma-India theatre of the Second World War.
Seizing such a huge depot would not only mean cutting the vital supply flow to the Chinese forces fighting in the China-Burma-India CBI theatre. It would have crippled the entire Allied logistical framework in the region.
And the Japanese would get fresh supplies and could also march and conquer the rest of India, thereby crippling the British Army of the supplies and the morale of the British Army fighting elsewhere in the Second World War.
After the Japanese invaded the Southeast Asian countries of Malaya, Singapore, the Dutch Indies, now Indonesia, and Burma, now Myanmar, the British Army was on the back foot and was retreating to India through Imphal.
In one of the interesting battles in Burma over the Sittang Bridge, many British Indian soldiers were on the wrong side of the bridge when the bridge was blown. To retreat, they had to jump into the river, but many lost their lives drowning because they jumped into the river with their shoes off due to the advancing Imperial Japanese Army. During this battle in 1942 near Sittang Bridge, one Captain San Manekshaw of the British Indian Army was critically wounded by 9 bullets to his stomach and lungs during the Battle of Sittang River. Miraculously, he survived.
After India's independence, he would later become the Field Marshal of the Indian Army.
The British Army blew up bridges and scorched the earth to delay the pursuing Imperial Japanese Army, and used whatever means available for crossing the Chinwin and Irrawaddy rivers, sometimes even logs, etc.
To cross the rainy and muddy terrain of Burma in retreat, the British Army even used elephants. It was the best chance for the Japanese Army, which was in pursuit of defeating the British Army in this theatre of Second World War. But the Japanese Army stopped the pursuit when the British Army, in its 900 miles retreat,
Reached Tamu and crossed the British Indian territory of Moray in Manipur. Perhaps the Japanese Army had extended its line of communication.
The Japanese Army launched its Operation Yugo offensive in March 1944, aiming to capture Imphal and Kohima, and by early April, they had successfully cut off the Imphal-Kohima road, effectively encircling the Allied forces in the Imphal Valley and,
At the same time, the intense siege of Kohima. This encirclement led to some of the fiercest fights of the Second World War in the region. This is also the only battle in Second World War where Indian troops were fighting against other Indian troops.